Hello everyone, I'm Brian. Today I'm reacting to Never Let Yourself Get Bored, Tsem. So, I was wondering, it's like, why? Why not? Why not get bored? Then I started thinking as I was trying to, prep everything up. It's like, well, I guess because when you're bored, you start to do things that you don't necessarily want to do, but kind of compelled to do, probably. So there's this thing called like bored eating, where if you're bored, you'll just eat whether you're hungry or not. If you're bored, you'll tend to do something just to get out of boredom. And sometimes those are things that you don't want to do. So far as I can tell, they're kind of materialistic things in terms of, like, again, boarding. If you're bored, you bored eat, or you go drive somewhere, spend gas or money on things that you don't necessarily need or want, but just because you're bored. But I'm hoping it's a little bit more than that, so let's go ahead and give this video a shot.
Never get used to failure. Never get bored. Oh, I give you a Dharma work. You got an assignment from your guru. After a while, you don't do it. After a while, it's forgotten. Oh, it's just a small thing. Well, what's the big deal? Yeah, everything becomes a small thing after a while because you get used to saying this small thing. So you get an assignment from your guru, you abandon it. You don't do it. You forget about it. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. I promise you, after 2-3 weeks, you completely forgot you have to do it. You're comfortable with not doing it. And in front of your teacher, you can not do it overtly because you get bored with it. Oh, I do Dharma work, I get bored with it. Control my attachment. When you first enter Dharma, I'm going to control, I'm going to be vegetarian, I'm going to be good, I'm going to do my mantra, do my sadhana. After a while, you get lazy, you go back to your old habit. You get bored with fighting your attachments. You get bored with aspiring to become a bodhisattva, to work for others. You get bored with disciplining your intake of what type of food. You get bored with fighting against intoxicants. You get bored with the whole attachment thing. You get bored with the relationship thing. You get bored with learning Dharma. You get bored with doing retreats. You get bored with reading Dharma. You get bored with even discussing Dharma. You get bored with all of it. And then what happens when you get bored with all of it? You revert back to exactly what you're doing before you're doing Dharma.
Is it really bored, though, the right word? I mean, I guess I can kind of see it. You get bored of it, but then your old ways are, you get bored of it as well because they're not exactly exciting or new either. I think he did say it right the first time. Lazy. You become lazy. You don't want to do it anymore because it's not necessarily that it's boring, but I guess that could be the case of it, but you just don't want to do it anymore. It's not necessarily because you're bored of it. It's just that it's like, you don't get bored at work, but it's something that you don't want to do. So I'm wondering if bored is the right word he's trying to use here. But bored is part of it, though. Sometimes you do get bored of doing something, but I think it's also getting tired of it as well. So it's not just boredom, but perhaps also tiredness as well, I think. Because, exercising is not boring because you're actively doing something, but it is very tiring and it's not something that your body wants to do.
And why do you get bored with it? Why? Because you haven't broken the habit of doing what is really good for you and what is not good for you.
That's true, though, for
Your
sure.
battle is not won.
Like, real quick with the example, like, your body, instead of exercising, your body would rather be bored because it's not being tired. But he's very right in terms of the habit portion. That's absolutely true. That is, you get into a habit of things that I would say that's not that you enjoy, that you can do, that's not tiring. So sleeping is something that's very enjoyable, but yeah, you can overdo it a little bit.
So just think, sometimes our teacher gives us an assignment. It could be a sadhana, it could be exercise, it could be not taking intoxicants, it could be doing a retreat, it could be prostration. And after a while, we just don't do it, we just keep quiet. Oh, Rinpoche didn't say anything to me, Rinpoche didn't scold me, he didn't say anything. I should be okay. Your guru will always be compassionate and kind, always forgiving. But that doesn't mean you're progressing. So after a while, whatever instructions our teacher gives us, small or big, we become bored with it, we become forgetful. And just saying I'm sorry, or writing a nice SMS, or writing a nice card, or giving a nice gift, will wipe away our misdemeanor. And then we get used to saying sorry, 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 sorry. How many people we know do the same thing over and over that we work with, and all they do is say sorry, if they even say sorry. And even saying sorry or regretting becomes boring for them. They become bored with everything. They become bored with Dharma work, bored with practice, bored with retreat, bored with learning, bored with Guru devotion, bored with everything. They're just totally bored. I want to go back to party, dresses, fun, tuxedos. I want to go back to the nightlife. I want to go back. I'm just so bored with all of this. I can't take it. It's a prison. If that is the truth, then your prison keepers is Shakyamuni, Tsongkhapa, and all the High Lamas. They're prison keepers, and they're all liars. So don't let yourself get bored. You know how you don't let yourself get bored? Because even one discipline you don't let lax. No matter how minor the instruction is, or how major, you don't let any of the instructions from your Lama lax. Because some people always say, oh, you said to do this, and then 3, 4, 5 years later, oh, now we see why. Well, if you can see why that instruction is followed through and it became this, why is it instruction to you? Won't be later, you go, oh, now I see why. Same thing. So don't get bored with Dharma practice, retreats, learning, fighting your attachments, fighting intoxicants, and aspiring to be much more. Aspiring to be having the bodhisattva attitude. Never get bored with that. And never get bored with it to the point where you can just give a little perfunctory, plastic, superficial apology. That you just say it. You are sorry, but it doesn't move you to do it anymore. Don't have a bored look. Don't have a bored stance. Don't have a bored body posture. Don't have a bored face. Don't have a bored attitude. Because when you get bored with Dharma, you will be bored to death in samsara. You know why? You're already bored, that's why you try Dharma. It's like saying there's a gold mine there. If you dig it up, there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of kgs of gold. But you're too lazy to go dig and you give up. Someone else gets the gold. It's not because there's no gold there. So don't start letting yourself get bored. You know how you let yourself get bored? And always people tell me, oh, you know, whether they're 16, whether they're 60, they tell me the same thing. Oh, I slipped. Oh, my mind went down. Oh, I went this, I went that. And then it doesn't wipe anything away because you're still there. So any instructions you're given, any practice you're supposed to do, any commitments you made, go all the way with it. Don't get bored with even one promise or one commitment.
So, from what I'm understanding from this part, it's a little hard to hear him as well, but it seems like it's to stick with whatever it is that you're doing, it seems like. Don't get bored with it, or don't get tired with it. Bored, he's using it as it seems like an all-encompassing word. And my only issue is that people may not understand it as being tired as well, but hopefully they do. I mean, that's the point. You can clearly hear what he's trying to say, is that it's not only just don't get bored with it, don't get tired, don't give up. You know, pursue it because there's a reward at the end of what you're doing, generally speaking. 'Cause I don't know, whatever it is you're doing, I don't know if there is in fact a reward or not, but stick through it till the end, you know. Especially doing any kind of practices that your teacher teaches you. Don't just say sorry, because then, you know, you kind of get this mentality. It's like, oh, well, if I make a mistake or if I don't do anything, I just say sorry and it's all made up. It's all good. You know, I'm forgiven. But in reality, that, yeah, sure, you're forgiven or whatever, but, you know, you're still stuck where you're at and you haven't finished or accomplished anything. And this sorry won't get you anywhere in life. I believe that's how I'm understanding what he's saying. Alright, let's continue.
Never get bored with one practice and one commitment, one promise you make. Never get bored with it. How do you not get bored with it? By fighting and winning. Because when you fight and win and you get the exhilaration of overcoming that one problem, you want to attack the other, another, pretty soon you become a team.
Oh.
Don't be bored with Dharma. How do you become bored with Dharma? You do something for a short while, you don't get results, and you move to the next one. You lose next one. You do it all the way till you get results. If you've been assigned to work, do it all the way. If you've been assigned to exercise, you exercise so you see your body fit, you don't get sick so often. Then you know you got the result, and you keep it up. If you've been assigned to do your sadhana, you keep doing it, and you see your mind transform and change. If you've been assigned to sweep up and clean, make sure every time anyone walks by, you sweep up and clean. If you've been assigned to stop saying I'm sorry and forgetting, you stop saying sorry because you stop forgetting. Don't get bored with Dharma. Don't get bored with Dharma work, Dharma action, Dharma practice, Dharma retreats. Don't get bored with Dharma attainments. Get bored with samsara. Because if you get bored with it, you go back to samsara, and you know what? This time when you go back, you'll be free for a few months, and then you'll be bored out of this spell.
Okay, so yeah, stick through what you're doing. Continue to practice. It's something like I guess when a guru or swami or a whoever it is that you're following tells you to do something, do it. I mean, just stick with it. Now, I mean, I'm not one who follows someone, so like, to me, there's always a limit. You know, it's there's a interesting game. I think it's like Far Cry 3, where the previews for that's like, you know what the definition of insanity is? Doing something over and over and over again, expecting a different result. So I have also that mindset where obviously give it your best shot, give it a fair shot. This is what I've said many times. You know, so long as you give me a fair shot and you don't like my content, I completely understand. Hey, I appreciate you giving me a fair shot. That's the only thing that really matters. Be honest, give someone a fair shot. So so it's kind of like this. You know, you don't beat your don't beat your head over a wall thinking that it'll bring enlightenment to you. It's not. But yeah, you know, try something out, do it, give it a genuine shot, give it a fair enough time, and if it doesn't work, you know, perhaps go back to your teacher and say that, you know, I've been doing this for a long time, I'm not seeing any change. Is there another method or something else that you could teach me that I could try now? I feel that the other one is not doing anything for me. You know, hopefully, I mean, I don't know if it's a good teacher or not. They'll tell you to, okay, let's try something else, or if it's a good teacher to say, no, I think you need a little bit more time, continue to do it. You know, I don't know what it is. You know, again, I don't teach that kind of stuff. I don't follow a teacher, so I wouldn't know what to say either way. The only thing I can really say in terms of real life is that you are in control of your life. You judge for yourself, but just be wise, give a fair shot. That's all. What's a fair shot? I don't know. 1 day, 1 hour, 10 years. I have no idea. You have to be the judge of that. It is your life is in your control. You determine what is a fair shot. What else? And again, when you use the word bored, I think of a little bit more things. Like tired and bored are the two things that kind of get a lot of people out of what they're doing, because yes, when you're doing something over and over again and there's just nothing going on, nothing exciting, you will get bored. Or if there's something going on, but it's not necessarily, it's like it's an activity that you're doing, you're not bored, but you're getting tired, and that's another way of you quitting what you're doing. So I like to lump those two together, just to get, you know, just in case someone's saying, oh, I'm getting tired, but I'm not bored, so clearly I can stop this or whatever, you know. I don't know, there's going to be some people out there like that, but I think majority of people will understand that what he means by bored is that don't give up on something so easily, perhaps, or don't even give up on it at all. I mean, for me, that's a bit extreme to say at all, because not all methods work for everyone. So you may be giving a bad method to you, but you won't know until you try it. That's the reason why I do like the way Sadhguru says that, you know, you have to listen to well, I don't know if he said that per se, but he says that, you know, there's a guru out there for you. It might not even be Sadhguru, but there's one out there for you, and to, I guess, kind of listen to them and find your guru, essentially just find your guru. And that's the reason why I listen to multiple gurus and swamis, because for one, I guess I'm kind of like that. I like to listen to a lot of perspectives, because not everyone can explain a perspective completely, and sometimes they have a short time frame to answer the questions, and sometimes they have a different mindset on how to answer that question. So listening to multiple gurus and swamis answer a single question, as into what is Brahma, what is Atma, you'll learn many different things from the many different gurus and how they explain it. And you'll learn so much about it, even though it is the exact same question, but it's all, even the same guru or swami from different time frames will answer what is Atma differently. But it's not necessarily that it's a different answer, it's just a different part of the answer. You know, it's like, oh, Atma is your true self. And then another question would be, oh, Atma is Brahman, they're one and the same. It's just that we see Atma as our individual self. Actually, that might be Jiva Atman. But you get what I'm saying. It's that there's many ways to answer what is Atma. And at certain times or certain days or certain places or certain different mindsets, they have different answers. But it's all the same answer. It's just that you're getting like a slice of the answer. Just my reason why of giving multiple gurus and swamis a shot. Anyways, this is my reaction to Never Let Yourself Get Bored. If you like my content, please consider subscribing. Thumbs up, thumbs down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next vid.